for those of you that don't know, is the deepest lake in the world, and I believe it was dug by the Chinese immigrants back in 1642. Some say it goes all the way to the center of the earth. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Circus Moto. Today is a Friday and I am heading out with the homies to go do a little motorcycle camping. We're riding down to Central Oregon today. Gonna spend the weekend down there. Today my riding group is the guys from Old Friends of New Roads. Up in front of me we got Keith and Kate on the road glide hauling a trailer. Got Eric and his daughter in front of me on an electric glide, and John's back behind me on a 1600 Cowie Mean Streak. And of course I am riding my faithful steed, the old Chapasaki. We're heading south of Bend to Cultus Lake. I think Keith has been there before, maybe all these guys have been there before, I'm not sure, but I definitely have not. So we're gonna camp. We're camping at Cultus Lake campground, I believe, this trip. So we're going to set up camp tonight, dig around and everything, and tomorrow we're going to go on a ride up around Crater Lake, and you know, we're gonna it's a 2-night camp. We're not just doing a single night, you know, overnight camp, which I prefer. I'd rather do it for I'd rather do it for 2 days. There's something that drives me nuts about setting up a tent and shit for just 1 day. It's a lot of work to go through for just one night of camping. I see a lot of videos where people, they basically just ride to a campground, set up, eat, go to sleep, get up in the morning and tear all their shit down and go home. I've never really got the thrill of that. I want to go to a destination where I'm gonna want to hang out for a little bit. I don't want to just immediately pack it up and ride home. Pick a place you want to hang out at for a while and stay a couple nights. So I got up early this morning because I was up a little too late last night. I was gonna pack my bag and pack everything on the bike last night, and I ended up staying out a little too late for that, and so I decided to just get up this morning and do it. It is hot this morning. I mean, just a muggy, sticky heat. It's not like overbearingly hot, it's just really freaking muggy right now. And so I've already got my workout in today. I sweat out about a gallon of friggin' water this morning just putting my stuff on my bike. Went over to the farm yesterday after work and did another oil change on the Chapasaki, and I don't know if I mentioned this before. After my last oil change, I had a tiny bit of leak. A little bit of oil was leaking out of the drain plug. So I kept an eye on it. It wasn't anything too major, but I thought maybe I had a bad washer or something on the drain plug. So I ended up, you know, changing the oil yesterday, and when I went to put the drain plug back in, I stripped a couple of threads on the bottom of the case. The bolt just did not want to tighten correctly. I didn't cross thread it or anything. It's just at some point somebody over tightened it. It was probably me. I don't frickin' know. It was a little overly tight. It ripped a couple of aluminum threads off of the drain hole itself. So knowing I had to ride today, I went ahead and just took the risk of changing the washer on the bolt and wrapping a whole shit ton of wrapping a whole shit ton of PTFE tape around the threads of the bolt, and going, damn. And then, you know, being sure to not over tighten. If anything, I think it's a little under tight, which is a little disconcerting. I would hate to end up vibrating that plug out while I'm on this trip and, you know, dropping a gallon of oil and blowing my bike up. But hey, that's the risk you take when you want to go have fun with your friends. I think it's gonna be okay, obviously, or I wouldn't have ridden this bike on this trip. But it is gonna be in my mind the whole time. I'm gonna have to keep a close eye on it every time we stop, and you know, just fingers crossed that it does not rattle its way out of this hole. Eric said I could have took his street glide, you know, if I still wanted to go on this trip and didn't want to risk it on my bike. But, you know, if there's no risk, where's the fun, I guess? I'll just keep an eye on it. I wanted to ride this bike on this trip. So, anyways, we are headed south on 205 right now, and we're gonna hit Oregon City and ride out through Silverton and hit the Santa Ana Pass to get over to the Sisters area. And there's probably going to be a fuel stop along the way, and you know, I'll just see you at our next destination. Alright, we've reached the point in our story where everything just starts going tragically wrong for this circus bear. Man, it was a great trip. We had a great time. But there were a few things that I fucked up on, and there was a few issues, more than a few issues actually, with my GoPros. These things are frustrating. I don't really know how to explain. I just have issues with these GoPros for some reason. This one that I'm recording on right now, the GoPro Hero 9 with the media mod. This is the new high zoom camera. There's a ton of stuff that I really love about this camera. I really do. The media mod so far has not been one of them. It's a great idea in thought, but in practice, there's just a lot of bugs in this stuff. I could not get the thing to work right this whole trip. It kept glitching, the screen kept freezing up, it kept, what was it doing? It was freezing the video. So the screens would freeze up, it would quit recording video, and then it would continue to record the audio, which I don't need. I want the video. For the most part, this camera is used for the shots facing back at me, and I take it off the bike for B-roll, things like that. When it's not working correctly, it's a huge pain in the ass. The other issue that I was having was the GoPro Hero 4 that I keep on the front of my helmet. I don't know, I kept over-clicking buttons or something and getting in and out of modes that I didn't want to be in. There was a really crazy time where we were riding over the Cascade Lakes Highway, and we hit the biggest, I don't know, is it called a flock of butterflies? We're going to call it a flock of butterflies. We hit the biggest flock of butterflies I've ever seen in my life. And it was gross. And I couldn't stop laughing. They were literally hitting everywhere on my exposed skin, my neck, all across my face mask, just exploding butterflies all across the front of my bike, the front of everybody's bike. It was chaos.
And it was one of those moments where, you know, I was kind of riffing the whole time on this, and I thought I had some pretty good content recorded that would have been pretty amusing for you guys to watch, yet I was fucking up with the GoPro. I don't know. So, not only did I have GoPro issues because of my procrastination the prior evening, I decided it would be a good idea to go get dinner and drinks with some friends at a bar instead of packing my bike. I got up early in the morning and was scrambling to get my bike loaded. I loaded pretty much everything, but somehow I forgot to grab my sleeping pad. I forgot to grab, God, what else did I forget? I forgot so many things. The biggest one was my sleeping pad. Sleeping on the hard ground just sucks. Keith and everybody had these really neat backpacking cots. I think I'm gonna go that way. I ordered a cot off of Amazon. I'm gonna use that in conjunction with my sleeping pad from now on to keep me up off the ground. And I've learned that I need to write myself a checklist. I'm really bad about underpacking, and I think the reason that is my wife is the world's most notorious overpacker, and I tend to just go in the opposite direction, just out of spite. I don't know, just to prove to her that even if you underpack, you're still gonna have fun. You're still gonna, you know, survive your trip. I did end up going to Dollar General and buying a cheap-ass pool floaty, just so I could get a little bit of support off the ground. You know, my back is not what it used to be in my 40s. I'm really struggling, so forgetting the sleeping pad was not a great move. There were a few other things I forgot, and luckily either we were covered because we had a few people going and they didn't underpack, or I was able to either live without it or find it on the road somewhere, find whatever I forgot. So all in all, it turned out pretty good. Unfortunately, because of all my camera issues, I don't have very good footage of anything. I really wanted to show you where we were riding. It's a beautiful area. If you've never been to Crater Lake in Oregon, it's literally just breathtakingly beautiful. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. That's why it's a national park, and you should definitely visit. We had a great time. We rode home. That's about it. I just got off the chat line with GoPro customer service. I think we might have got the bugs figured out in this GoPro setup. If not, they're probably just going to send me a new media mod. I did boil it down to, it's not the camera that's causing me the issues. I believe it's the media mod. And you know, this media mod's not really all it's cracked up to be anyway. If I keep having issues with it, hopefully they'll send me a new one. If not, I'll probably, you know, chuck it in the friggin' trash bin and go with some aftermarket setups to try to get the same functionality that I have with this media mod. I really like the plugins in the back and all that. It really, there's some things that are really well thought out about it, and there's some things that just don't work great. So I'm gonna give it another try, and hopefully, like I said, the firmware updates and the stuff that I did with GoPro's customer service, get this thing working properly. I don't know, I just need to do a better job at paying attention to these cameras and what I'm actually grabbing and what I'm not, and it's a little tough not being able to tell what's going on the screen on the GoPro 4 on my helmet. But I'm getting a little better at it. I realize the mistakes that I made, and that way I won't make them again. Learning, it's a learning situation. It's definitely a learning situation, and I'm going to treat it as such. If you want to see great content and great camera work and all that of our trip, I suggest you head over to Old Friends and New Roads. The fellas had their cameras running to make their own video. I don't think it's out yet. They were going to be a little busy over the week, and this weekend I believe that group's doing an iron butt challenge, which I have zero interest in at all on the current bike that I have. Anyway, I believe Keith will have that video up before too long. Go over to Old Friends and New Roads, check it out. Do me a favor while you're on my channel, click like, click subscribe, give it a thumbs up. All that stuff really helps my channel out a lot. I know some of these videos can be a little frustrating for you when the content's a little iffy. Believe me, they're more frustrating for me. This is still quite the learning curve for me. Anyway, I'm going to sign off this video. Like I said, go check it out over at Old Friends of New Roads. And remember, get a bike and learn how to ride it. And if you're going to ride like an animal. See you later.